Today we're going to talk about how long wine can last once it's open. Hi everyone, Anthony here, General Manager of Von Steel Winery, and today we're going to discuss how long wine can last after it's open. So we have 4 examples in front of us, and these are examples of 4 different categories of wine. So in general, the categories, doesn't matter what they're in. Like for instance, the first one here is a sparkling wine. They all can last a certain period of time. What changes is whether you can reseal them or not. So the first one we have is one of our Esprits right here, and this you can see is a under pressure closed screw cap. So these caps are made especially for us in the bottles here, which will allow them to keep fresher. So for our individual wines, these sparkling wines, so the Sparkling Crimson Royale, Viognier Chenin Blanc, all 3 of the Esprits, after these are opened, as long as they're resealed pretty tight and put back in a cooler somewhere around 45 to 50 degrees, these can hold quite a while. Our record here at the winery is 65 days. I don't recommend that long. Hopefully you're drinking it within the week. But generally, if these are open and resealed tight, these can last about 2 weeks as long as they're in the right conditions. Now, the next one we have here is a white still wine. So this is our Chardonnay. And rule of thumb with white wines is, again, they have to be cold, they have to be chilled, generally 40 to 45 degrees. And after they're opened, these can last upwards of 5 days in the right conditions. If you have a Coravin in at home, that'll obviously keep them longer because you're not puncturing the bottle, it's just the needle, and they'll real seal. However, our wines, because they're what's called a Noma cork is what we use, the holes don't reseal. If it's real cork, they will. If they're synthetic corks, they will not. But again, after opening, these can hold generally 5 days. Your Pinot Grigios, your Sauvignon Blancs, your very light whites generally can only hold about 3 days. Again, right circumstances, they can go a little bit longer, but not that much. The next one we have here is a Cabernet. So Cabernet, king of the red wine world, these, depending on age, can hold a little bit longer. General rule of thumb is anywhere from 5 to 7 days after they're opened. And that's pretty much the same for almost all red wines. You'll find that the Pinot Noirs and very light bodied reds, things like Dolcettos, they'll last generally 3 days before they start to turn. They'll lose their freshness. They won't turn into vinegar that quick. But again, if they're kept out at, let's say, room temperature and they're open, they will turn faster. Once you open them, put them in the fridge. It'll help keep them crisp a little bit longer. And then when you pull them out, if you're going to serve them for dinner, just let them warm up maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the glass. That way you get all the nuances and everything back out. But again, rule of thumb, generally about 5 days after opened, as long as they're chilled. Can get up to 7 days with some of the bigger, older wines because they're more stable. The younger the red wines, generally 3 to 4 days, and 4 days is pushing it. Last or not least, we have what's called fortified wines. So this is our Kirsch. And fortified wines, because they have neutral spirit or a spirit blended back into it, either a version of a brandy or vodka or things of that sort, they can keep longer because their alcohol content is higher. So things like this, cognacs, armagnacs, think of them as like a liqueur. So once you open these can keep for quite a while. Again, within the right conditions. If you leave this opened in the sun, you let it cook and air get in it, it's going to turn pretty quick. But because of the alcohol content in there, it could last upwards of 2 weeks. Again, open, but under the right conditions. Keep them chilled, keep them refrigerated. And before you go to serve them, just pull them out of the fridge, open them up, let them breathe a little bit, let them get a little warmer, and that'll help release the aromas, the fruit, bring it back to life. But again, fortifieds up to 2 weeks, unless they are true ports. So true port wine could last almost indefinitely. And they actually get better the longer they're open because of the fortification and the alcohol inside of it. So for more tips and tricks like this, go to our YouTube page or come into the winery. We're open 7 days a week. We're more than happy to answer any questions, or go to our website at vonsteel.com. Thank you.